What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how to beat an overly aggressive DB. So we're going to be talking about what you should do when you get that DB who wants to walk up to the line of scrimmage, get real physical with you, jam you off the line, knock you back 2 yards, and just obviously take you out of the play. So how can you guys deal with that, and some of the key specific releases you guys can use to deal with that. So I hope this video gives you guys some value, and it teaches you a few things of how you shouldn't panic off the line against a physical DB. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want a 4-week-long on-field wide receiver training program, check out that very first link in the description where we give you a full step-by-step schedule of all the specific wide receiver drills that wide receivers need to do on the field. We talk about drills to improve your route running, press releases, catching ability, explosiveness, and all the above. And we include a 30-minute long instructional video where we break down each day of the plan, the importance of each exercise, and then a full speed example of each drill. So I hope you guys could check that out. Very first link in the description. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about here is pad level. So what can you guys do off the line of scrimmage with pad level to be able to get separation on a DB who's trying to choke you? So obviously we just won on this route right here. You see how this receiver is able to win this ball downfield with this DB who got a real physical jam. Now, there are going to be a lot of times where you see a DB with this kind of pad level, right? Or this kind of positioning, this kind of alignment, however you want to think of it, where it looks like he's just going to lunge at you, try to get hands, and knock you way off this route. So how can I handle that as a wide receiver? I got to make sure, number one, that I keep a good pad level position, because it's never going to do me any good to stand straight up in the air. I'm never going to benefit from popping my chest straight up in the air, leaning back to where this DB can get hands and knock me 5 yards back. So I got to make sure that I stay in a good explosive position, because this position right here where you're in a good pad level gives you balance. So when we come off the line of scrimmage, you see how this DB's trying to choke us right off the line of scrimmage. We got a good base right here. We got a good pad level. I'm in a good posture. I can't panic in these situations. That's what so many receivers do. The second a DB gets hands on them, they throw their hands up, they panic, and they let them just punk them all the way to the sideline. You got to keep a good pad level position. Don't panic. Keep your legs, keep your balance, and just continue to fight and try to fight off those arms and try to fight off that point of control. So the most important thing, fellas, if you keep a good pad level and you stay balanced, a DB who lunges at you will not have anything for you, because look at this DB when he lunges. What happens to his base? He's got this nice clean base right here, but when he lunges at him, he loses his base. His legs trail far behind. It's like trying to like skateboard on one leg. Think of it like that. You're going to lose balance and you're going to fall off. That's what he's like. Anytime a DB lunges at you, anytime a DB's trying to test you, we should welcome that as a wide receiver. We should say, yeah, I'm going to make you look foolish the next time you try to lunge at me, because you lose your base. And if I could just stay in a strong position and get those hands off, I could make him stumble real bad, and I could be able to restack and get back over the top. So the number one tip, the first tip to deal with an overly physical DB, an overly aggressive DB, is keep a good pad level, keep a good base, keep a strong base off the line so you can fight. And when he gets hands, it doesn't knock us completely off this route. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great example from this receiver, keeping a good pad level and being able to fight those hands off and get up into this route and overall win the entire rep. Okay, so now, next release we're going to be looking at here is from DeAndre Hopkins. Now, this is a situation where the DB is a little bit more patient with this jam. He's kind of in this catch technique. He's waiting for us to come at him so he can lunge and get hands and reroute us and screw up the timing with the quarterback, right? Because we got to remember this, fellas. The only thing that a jam is supposed to do, the only reason that DBs try to get hands on you is to screw up the timing with the quarterback, right? So if we don't allow him to screw up the timing, if we can continue to push forward, get his hands off of me, and get up into the route while I'm keeping timing, I did it. I beat press. I don't have to break his ankles every single time. So let's watch this full speed. So Hopkins does a great job of attacking the points of control. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here. The points of control is the second tip to beat an overly aggressive DB. So where are the points of control? What do I mean by that? You don't, when a DB gets hands, yes, you want to have a plan with your feet. I think the footwork is the most important part of a release off the line of scrimmage. I think the footwork is what sets up the hands, but you obviously got to have a plan for your hands as well. Now, when a DB gets hands on you, right, you don't want to swat his hands. He doesn't have hands. You don't want to hand fight with a guy like you're slapping him or something like that. You want to try to attack either the back of his forearm, back of his arm/elbow, or the back of his shoulder. Those are the 3 points that are going to control this guy, right? Because again, a while back I took a jiu-jitsu class, and that jiu-jitsu class talked a lot about wrist control. You want to control their wrist, because if you try to grab their hands, they're just going to slip out of it. Same thing off the line. You can translate a lot from combat sports off to hand fighting off the line of scrimmage, is that when a DB tries to shoot hands on you like he does right here, if you try to swat his hands are just going to go right back. It's not going to do much. It doesn't control him. So you see Hopkins does a very, very good job of swatting the back of that shoulder. That's a point of control, because when you make it uncomfortable on a DB, you close the distance, or maybe you slide him to the outside, you get him off that platform, and you swat the back of his shoulder. That's a point of control. That's what will make him move. And the goal is to obviously make him move, but the goal is to make him look foolish by swatting those hands off you. So we got to make sure, number 2 tip to beat an overly physical, overly aggressive DB is I got to make sure I attack the points of control. This is a great job by Hopkins utilizing that. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job walking at him, swatting by on those points of control to get up. That's a second way you can beat an overly aggressive DB. The feet will set up the hands. Make sure you set traps with your feet and execute with your hands. Okay, so now, second thing I want to talk about, this is a situation where this DB doesn't even touch the wide receiver. I'm going to be completely honest with you. He doesn't lunge at him. He doesn't try to get hands. But this is what you can do as a wide receiver, especially a shorter wide receiver, to create some separation when you think maybe a DB is going to get hands on you, or when simply it's just a press coverage DB. Okay, so let's watch this thing full speed. So you see how Shepard goes with the split release. DB isn't even able to get hands on him because of how sudden his feet are and how he's able to utilize range. Okay, so range is one of those things that I love to talk about, and a lot of people don't know what I mean by when I say range. So the range is where he's at right now, right? Maybe he's out of the slot, maybe he's off the ball, maybe this DB's in catch technique, but you got some yardage to work. That's the yardage that you want to utilize and you want to use to your advantage. Okay, so what he does is he goes with a split release, right? So when he splits, this DB, if he's going to get hands on him, he has to lunge at him, right? He doesn't do a release where he goes at him and closes the space and this DB is able to get hands right from his base and completely try to reroute him. He's using the space that he was given, right? No different than maybe doing a situation where this DB, like let's say he's more inside shade and we work like a hesitation slide to the outside. I'm in a range to where if he wants to get hands and be physical, he has to come at me. He can't just shuffle with me and watch my hips. He has to go at me, right? So when I slide to the outside and I shuffle outside, he's forced to make a decision. And when I do this split release, he's forced to make a decision. He could either sit and watch me or he could try to get hands. And chances are he's probably just going to sit and watch you because you're operating in that range. That's what I'm talking about. You want to keep the range from the DB. He shouldn't be able to touch you from his base. He needs to be able to walk forward to touch you, and that's how you guys can beat a more physical DB who's a little bit more impatient coverage, right? So make sure, fellas, that you guys have a plan for your feet. Make sure that you guys have a plan for your hands, but understand the points of control is what gets you open. You being sudden with your feet and being able to utilize that range is also what gets you open, and keep a good explosive pad level. You see the pad level that Shepard has right here? Great pad level, great balance position with his lower half, because if this DB wanted to lunge at him, it wouldn't even bother him. He could just shed this thing right off and be able to push forward and get up into this route. So that is the main thing when you're dealing with press coverage. Another release that you guys can use, maybe if this guy's a little bit closer, is like a step back release, right? Everybody loves to talk about that step back release, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to step and jump back like 5 yards. Just a little bit of a step back, create some space for yourself so you can get a read on this DB. If he's got to get hands on you, he's got to lunge at you. And then we could make him pay based off of that first clip we were looking at where that DB lunged and lost his base. Okay, let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great overall rep here by Shepard. Great job being sudden, using range, and then getting up into this route where this DB wasn't able to get a hand on him. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comments below. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I always appreciate the feedback, always appreciate the things you guys have to say. It helps me come up with new ideas for this channel, helps me come out with new videos, so I definitely appreciate it. And again, fellas, 4-week on-field wide receiver workout plan, everything you need to do on the field to improve your game as a wide receiver, and we include a video where we break down all the specific things of the plan every single day, the importance of each drill, and then we show you each drill and each route ran with a full speed example. Hope you guys could check that out. I'll see you guys next time.